Welcome to Nice and Blunt. The schedule's released, and you know we're starting with the AFC West. My favorite team, the Chargers, are in this division, but we'll give the honors to the reigning division champs. We'll go Chiefs to start this video. Here is the schedule. Week 1, Brazil Friday night at the Chargers. Neutral field, probably a weird game. Just like last year, maybe the turf leads to a lot of slippage. And the humidity will be a factor. But give me the Chiefs here. I think they're just better equipped for this type of environment. I think the Chiefs are better. Give me a win in week 1. Week 2, home opener versus the Eagles. That's an L. Not ready to stop their defensive line. I don't think their O-line has made enough upgrades. So that's an L. Week 3, Sunday night at the Giants. An easy win against Russell Wilson. Week 4, Sunday versus Baltimore. This one's close. I think it comes down to the wire, and I think this game will be indicative that last year's Black Magic, when they were winning all of these close games, one possession scenarios by like crazy events, whether it was a toe out of bounds or a field goal blocked or whatever it was, I think this season that does not happen. Give me the Ravens with the win in Kansas City. Week 4. Then week 5, Monday night at Jacksonville. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence enough. Even though they got Travis Hunter, I'll take the Chiefs in primetime on the road at Jacksonville. Then week 6, Sunday night versus Detroit. This will be a close one, but like I said, some of these close games not going to go their way. And Jared Goff has never lost to Mahomes. I think that trend continues. Another L for the Chiefs, week 6. Versus the Lions. Then week 7, Sunday morning versus the Raiders. Geno Smith not quite ready. A win for the Chiefs. Week 8, Monday night versus the Commanders. Interesting matchup here. Prime time against Jaden Daniels. It could be a loss. I don't think it is. Give me another win for the Chiefs. Their first 2-game win streak of the season. Week 9, however, Sunday on the road at Buffalo. A big test that usually results in an L. When it comes to the regular season, the Bills have their number. In the postseason, it's a different story. But here, week 9 at Buffalo, give me Josh Allen to get the win. So at 5-4, they don't look like the same team at this point. But off the bye in week 10, I think they get their shit together. I think they hit their stride. I see a 3-game win streak here. Sunday, week 11 at Denver. That's a win. Sunday, week 12, morning game at Indianapolis. Another win. That one's going to be very easy. And then week 13, Thanksgiving night at Dallas. No way I'm picking the Cowboys. Mahomes and Kelsey will be eating turkey legs. That's for sure. Week 14, Sunday night versus Houston, though. Very big game. I think they lose. I think Stroud will step up for the occasion. And under the bright lights, that extra receiver depth will help them piece it together. I think a comeback victory in the fourth quarter and a go-ahead field goal is the story. Sunday, week 14, is a loss for Kansas City, their 5th L of the year. Then they sweep the Chargers, week 15, Sunday morning at home. Chargers will be tough, but I still think they're better. Give me the 2nd win against LA of the year. Then week 16, Sunday morning at Tennessee. Cam Ward not ready to beat them. Another win. Week 17, Thursday night Christmas game versus Denver, though. This one is huge. The division is up for grabs. The Chiefs are not quite the same team, and I think the Broncos will be desperate for playoff positioning. I'm going to give it to Denver. We've seen some very close games between these two teams in the past. Sean Payton can beat Andy Reid. I think he finds a way. The field goal does not get blocked this time around. Give me Denver in a 1-point win on Christmas. Week 18, though, they are not losing to Las Vegas. They will sweep the Raiders, and that's their 11th win of the season. So last year they were 15-1, were able to sit all their starters week 18. This year, not going to be the same story. They are definitely at risk of losing the division, falling to 11-6, but it's still probably enough. Let's see if the Chargers can get to 12 wins and give the Chiefs a good run for their money. Week 1, Brazil game. I'm taking the Chiefs. Week 2, though, traveling back home, then going to Las Vegas on Monday night. I think they're going to be tired. I don't think they're going to be quite ready, and I think Pete Carroll will revitalize this coaching rivalry. He hates Jim Harbaugh, so I think it's going to be Ashton Genty running all over them. I don't think their run game will be quite cohesive enough. Give me an L week 2 for my Chargers. They start off 0-2, 2 games on the road. So Sunday, week 3 versus Denver is the home opener, and I just can't envision they drop to 0-3. I think that's a win. They were considerably better than Bo Nix both times last season. I think they continue with another win versus the Broncos. Then week 4, we got Sunday morning at the Giants on the road, even in that early window. That's a win. Week 5, we got Sunday versus the Commanders at home, and I think Jaden Daniels is better. I think the Commanders will find a way. I really want to go to this game, but I also want to watch them win. I don't think it happens. I think the Commanders get the dub. So 2-3 to start the year, not ideal, but here is where I think the schedule gets very easy, and they will have a strong win streak starting in week 6. They travel to Miami, and maybe Tua's not healthy, but even if he is, I think this is an easy win. I don't trust the Dolphins and their defense to stop Justin Herbert. That's a win. Week 7 versus the Colts, that one should be a win. I don't trust Richardson, even with Jonathan Taylor playing well. I will take the Chargers in this one. Then week 8, we have Thursday night versus Minnesota. Primetime game. Jim Harbaugh knows J.J. McCarthy very well, and he will give him some problems. So I don't think the rookie is ready for the moment here. I think it's a win versus the Vikings in week 8, their third straight, and it's going to continue. Week 9, at Tennessee, that's an easy game. Give me another win against Cam Ward. Week 10, we got Sunday night versus Pittsburgh, and this is a game they should win. I think Najee Harris has some revenge. Give me a victory, even against Rodgers or Mason Rudolph. I think the Chargers will take it at home. And then week 11, Sunday morning at Jacksonville. This game means a lot. A bit of revenge from that playoff loss a few years ago when Herbert was up 27-7 at halftime and then lost 31-30 to Trevor Lawrence. I think they turn this one around. I think they win their 6th in a row and get the win on the road at Jacksonville. I'm going to take the better coach, Jim Harbaugh, to find a way. So going into the bye, they're feeling very good about themselves, a 6-game win streak, and they are not getting swept by the Raiders. They make it 7 in a row, week 13 versus Las Vegas. And at this point, at 9-3, there's going to be a lot of hype surrounding the Chargers, but they get a real test here in week 14 and 15. Can they beat the Eagles on Monday night? I don't think so. The Eagles coming off the Super Bowl, I think, are the better team for sure. And then week 15, another big test at Kansas City, probably the real deciding factor if they can actually win the division or not. I don't think they win, even though they play the Chiefs much tougher on the road. Herbert just doesn't beat Mahomes. It just doesn't really happen. So I'm not going to bet on it. Give me the Chiefs here to still maintain some dominance, and the second L in a row. They're 5th of the year. Then week 16, we have Sunday morning at Dallas, a win. And then week 17, Saturday versus Houston. I think they avenged the playoff loss and beat the Texans in week 17. And that leads to week 18 at Denver. If they win, they take the division. If they lose, it goes back to the Chiefs. I think the Broncos will find a way. I don't think they sweep the Denver Broncos this time. Yet again, the Broncos are going to be pretty desperate for a win, in my opinion, vying for playoff positioning as well. So at 11-6, it's the same record as last year, but tougher opponents. Last year was a 4th place schedule. This year it's not. And I just don't think they will increase their win total, even though they'll be more impressive as a franchise this season. I think they can win a playoff game. Last year, the 11 wins was a little misleading, but the Broncos are going to be right there as well. They had 10 wins last season. Maybe they're the ones trying to get to 12 wins to take the division. Let's take a look at this schedule here. Week 1, Sunday versus Tennessee. That's an easy opener. That one's a win against Cam Ward. And then week 2, Sunday at Indianapolis. I don't trust Richardson at all, so that's another win. Sean Payton, I think, is a better coach as well. But then week 3, Sunday at the Chargers. For the Chargers to start off 0-3, that'd be kind of shocking. So maybe this is actually the game that puts them in the driver's seat to win the division. I just don't think it will happen. I think they're going to lose this one on the road at SoFi. Give me an L, week 3. Then week 4, Monday night versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Last year, their second corner, Riley Moss, had no answers for T. Higgins. This year, they have Jahdae Barron, who they drafted in round 1. So maybe T. Higgins is not going to pop off here, but I still think they have enough on the Bengals offense to get it done. Jamar Chase probably finds a way against Patrick Surtain. Maybe Yoshivas goes crazy. I'm going to take the Bengals in this one. The Broncos lose on Monday night. I think Burrow in primetime is a safe bet. Week 5, Sunday morning at the Eagles. A little too difficult of a test here. The Eagles coming off the Super Bowl, not going to lose to Bo Nix. The 3rd straight L, kind of disappointing after a 2-0 start. But week 6, they travel to London against the Jets, and I'm going to take the Broncos here. I don't trust Justin Fields at all against Sean Payton. Week 7, we have Sunday versus the Giants. That's a win, especially at home. That one's easy. They get 2 straight wins against both New York teams. And then Sunday versus Dallas in week 8, that's another win. Problem with the Broncos defense is their run defense. That's definitely the weakness. And if you don't have a running back like Saquon, you can't exploit it with Javonte Williams. Their former running back, they will cover him pretty well. So that's a win for Denver, followed by a loss, in my opinion, Sunday morning at Houston. I think the Texans are a better team. So I'm giving it to Houston here, and CJ Stroud going to find a way against Bo Nix. I think he's the better quarterback. That is my tiebreaker. A close one, but it doesn't go in their favor. Then week 10, Thursday night versus Las Vegas. It's a short window coming back home, but I think they take it. Home field advantage is a big factor. Give me a win against Las Vegas in week 10. Then week 11, Sunday versus the Chiefs. A big test here. I just don't think it's going to work out. Give me an L against the Chiefs the following week. And then week 12, kind of a late bye. Maybe they're a bit tired. Maybe that's a reason why they're not 100% versus Kansas City. But off the bye, I hate this matchup for them. Sunday night primetime at Washington. Jaden Daniels is definitely a better quarterback than Bo Nix. I'm going to give them an L here at Washington, week 13. And then week 14, Ashton Genty, I think, will go off in this home game for the Raiders. So on the road for the Broncos, not ideal. I don't think they sweep them. The Raiders are much more improved from last year. I don't think they get swept by Denver this time. So an L for the Broncos week 14, and a critical loss. With 7 L's, they can't have any tiebreakers to win the division, and they need to win out just to have 10 wins and a chance at a playoff spot. So I think that happens. I think they can beat Green Bay at home. That's a win. Another home game against Jacksonville. I think they can beat Trevor Lawrence. And then week 17, Thursday night on Christmas, I did mention in the Chiefs portion of this video, I think the Broncos win. So a huge game on Christmas Day, an upset at Kansas City, kind of like last year, going to come down to a last-second field goal. I just don't think it gets blocked. I'm giving them a 1-point victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. Week 18, though, versus the Chargers is what's going to decide the division, essentially. If the Chargers win, they would take it at 12 wins. I think the Broncos, though, find a way. They do not get swept like last year, and they push themselves into at least a tiebreaker conversation at 10-7. But that Raiders loss week 14 is kind of what decides their playoff fate. So hopefully it's enough. We'll find out with some other teams, but 10-7 is respectable from Denver. The Raiders, last team in this division, we'll take a look at their schedule. They're much better than last year. I just don't think in the AFC, a very competitive conference, they have enough at a playoff spot. Week 1, Sunday at New England. The Mike Vrabel home opener for the Patriots. I'm going to give it to New England. I don't think Pete Carroll will have the chemistry dialed in enough at this point in time. Give me the Patriots in that one. So an L week 1, followed by a week 2 home victory Monday night versus the Chargers. I think coming off the Brazil game, the Chargers will be a little bit too tired to get the win. So a win in week 2 for the Raiders. Then week 3, Sunday morning at Washington. I will definitely take Jaden Daniels, especially at home. So an L for the Raiders on the road. Then week 4, they come to Chicago on the road against Caleb Williams. And I think Pete Carroll will have enough. Ben Johnson is not going to be quite ready. The coaching caliber of the Bears, I don't think compares to the coaching combo of Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly for the Raiders. So a bit of a mismatch there. I'm going to give an upset win to the Raiders here week 4. And in week 5, I think they lose on the road at the Colts. Another road game that's 3 in a row. They might be a bit tired from all the traveling. Taylor will be the difference. Give me the Colts in week 5. That's an L for Las Vegas. Then week 6, they're trading off losses and wins. I think it continues versus Cam Ward at home. I think Geno Smith will get the win. So a win in week 6. Week 7, Sunday morning at the Chiefs. That's an L. Not going to beat the Chiefs this year. Then in week 8, they get a bye, so they find out what was working, what was not. And I think Genty and Bowers will start to hit their stride in the second half of the year. But Sunday, week 9, they get Jacksonville at home. And I think Travis Hunter will give them some problems. I don't fully trust the secondary of the Raiders. overall. So I'm going to take Jacksonville in that one. Trevor Lawrence gets the win. Then in week 10, Thursday at Denver, I think they lose another one to the Broncos. A short week on the road. I think the home field advantage for Denver will be too much. So unfortunately, they get the loss. I think they'll be competitive in those two games, but not enough to win. And then week 11, Monday night versus Dallas, coming home, they figure things out. They win against the Cowboys, and then week 12, they completely demolish the Cleveland Browns. I think at this point, the Raiders will be very, very formidable, and then in week 13, they're going to be feeling themselves going into the LA Stadium on the road. They do not get the sweep. They won in week 2. They're not going to win here in week 13. That's an L at the Chargers. But week 14, Sunday versus Denver, that's a win. I don't think they get swept. I think they're understanding of their strengths and weaknesses. They find a way at home with the home field advantage against the Broncos. But week 15, Sunday morning at the Eagles. Eagles are a Super Bowl caliber team. It's not going to work out. That's an L for Geno Smith. And then week 16 at Houston, the Stroud Texans will be kind of desperate for playoff position. I think on the road, Houston environment, too tough to get the win. So close one here, an L for the Raiders though in week 16. And then week 17 versus the Giants, that's an easy win. Giants will be tanking. However, week 18 versus the Chiefs, they get swept by Mahomes. Not going to have enough against Andy Reid. So an improving season. They look a lot better, but not competitive enough to make the playoffs. A losing 7-win record is, I think, a big improvement and definitely a reason to be optimistic if you're a Raider fan. That's much better than last year. Quarterback play is a big reason why. So this is my prediction for this division. It's going to come down to the wire, and if the Chargers can either win one game against the Chiefs or find a way to sweep Denver, then at 12-5, they might take the division. But I'm not going to bet on it. I think at 11-6, the Chiefs have the tiebreakers. In division, they go 5-1, and that gives them the stranglehold on this division. So Chiefs win it at 11-6. The Chargers are a wild card team once again at 11-6. They will make the playoffs as a wildcard team. But at 10-7, I can't say that's a guarantee this year for the Broncos. Last year, they narrowly escaped with the 7 seed. This year, I think they'll be in contention for it, but a loss against Houston and a loss against the Bengals probably gives them the short end of the stick. So we'll find out what my record prediction is for the other teams, but I think the Broncos will narrowly miss the playoff bubble this season. They're going to be like the 8 seed, tied at 10 wins with the 7 seed. So that's my prediction. The Raiders go 7-10, and that's the division in the AFC West. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button for me and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We'll go through every division. Let me know in the comment section which division you'd like to see next. But that's it for this one. My name is Adam Riancho. Thank you so much for watching. Nice and blunt.